Hello, everybody. As you guys know, the Belgian government wants to introduce a zero tolerance for drunk driving, and today we have a panel to discuss this. Our first panel member is Florence VanderMeeren. Our second panel member is Kim Fonteyne, and our third panel member is Margot Gevaert. And last but not least, our fourth panel member is Jean-Michel Verhalle. I suggest we go around and everybody says their point of view on this matter. Let's start with Kim Fonteyne.
I have my doubts about this rule because the drive limit would be a zero tolerance. What effectively mean that one alcoholic drink would put you over the limit. In my opinion, this is wrong. This law limits the options as a driver. It will strip them of their social life, so I'm against this rule.
I suggest somebody counter-argument this. Perhaps Jean-Michel?
Yes, I don't believe that this limits the driver because you have to make strict rules, and we all know that when you start drinking and driving, bad things will happen. So I believe that we should be zero tolerant about this fact, about this subject, because this will protect a lot of people that can get hurt.
Florence, have you anything else to add?
Yes, I'm also pro zero alcohol tolerance because many people think they know how much they can drink before they becoming wasted, but I think many other factors play a role in how easy become wasted, such as fatigue, stress. It's all different the time when you get wasted or not. So I think it's a very good rule.
Margot, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, well, actually, like Florence said, everybody is indeed different and reacts different on alcohol, and that's why I actually think there shouldn't be a zero alcohol tolerance when driving a car, because some people can't be mature enough to know if they are not or if they are or aren't tolerant to alcohol. And that's why I'm also not a fan of this statement of this law, just like him.
Yes, I want to come in on that. First of all, the rule of zero alcohol tolerance goes in for people who just drive the cars for 3 years. So only that kind of people will have the zero alcohol tolerance, and the other people will have a lower alcohol number that they can reach. But I think in a period everybody will have the zero alcohol tolerance, but I think it's not wrong that we start with that little group, because they I think they really don't know how much they can drink, and I also believe that other people know how much they can, so they know their limits better.
I definitely agree.
I suggest Jean-Michel was first. Jean-Michel, you can go first.
I definitely agree with that, because in those first 3 years you are very inexperienced and you don't know your own limitations. But I agree that maybe after those 3 years there should be more options, but those 3 years are vital to learning the ways of driving a car and driving it safely.
Yes, I agree.
Margot, it's Margot, her turn, I think.
Thank you, Edisson. I do also agree with the rule that this law is only for the people that have their driver's license for only 3 years, because those people are less used to the road, and I can understand that they have to adjust this law. But for adults, I think it's inappropriate to point out people to say that they cannot drink even if they want to, 1 or 2 glasses, because I think that going to a restaurant and drinking something is really a part of our social culture. So it's not easy to adjust that just with law. And I also think that the behavior of people won't change just with the law.
Yes, I agree with Margot. But I think the law isn't too strict because you have too much consequences for the driver. For example, if you are going to a party and you are planning to drive the next day, you have to stop drinking earlier to give your body enough time to rid itself of the alcohol. So I want to make clear that you are limited to go out as driver, but you're also limited the day after because the law is too strict.
Yes, I want to comment on that, Kim, because it's true what you say. But I think if you go out and you're planning to drink very much, I don't think you're worth very much the next day. So I don't think you plan on driving a whole day with the car. And also sleep is a good aspect. When you sleep, the alcohol amount lowers easier. So I don't think that's really the issue of the topic.
Jean-Michel, do you have anything else to add?
Well, Margot was telling us about that people should have the right to go out and have some fun and drink a little bit because it's in our culture, and I definitely agree. But I feel that there are enough alternatives that can make you go home safely. For example, you can take a taxi, or you can call a friend to pick you up. So I feel like you can still go out and have fun and still be comfortable with this zero tolerance concept.
But okay.
Kim, yes, you can go.
I think that this rule will not work because this rule is too strict. Why? Because a lot of people can't follow the rules, and that's why they punished all the other drivers. So I think it's not good. And yes.
Yes, same, Kim.
Also, if you are a Bob and you say you are a Bob, thus you are a good Bob, but why is the rule? If you are a bad Bob and you say I will the Bob, but you are still drinking, these are the people. That's the consequences why this rule is now so strict, and I find it not correct. They punish all the other drivers.
Yes, I definitely agree with you, Kim, but you have to know that most of the people, when you say I'm a Bob, most people who are really a Bob, they don't drink anything the whole night. And it's very hard, that's also proven, to drink one beer, for example, and stop after one, because you will say, I can drink two, I think I can drink two, and other people will say, oh, drink another one. And it's easier when you have drink one, it's easier to say, I will drink another one. When you start with a Coke, you will easier get another Coke, and you will not say, now I will drink a beer. So that's
I agree, but there are also a lot of people who have the character to say, stop, I don't drink anymore. So
yes, but they are not in the majority, so we have to look at the big group, I think.
Yes, I definitely agree that we have to look at the big picture. Of course, there are people that can cope with a little bit of alcohol, but you have to look at everyone and the consequences that this can have for other people. So if you look at the big picture, I feel like you should make this law for everyone, and a lot of people will be saved from harm because other people can stop drinking.
Do you have anything to add, Margot?
Well, I want to add something to what Jean-Michel had said before. The alternatives for when you drink something. I know that you can say, yes, I'm a Bob, so I don't drink anything with the zero alcohol tolerance. But a taxi, for example, costs a lot of money, even if you don't have to pay for your parking. It still costs a lot of money, definitely when you go drink something every 2 days or something. And also when you come straight from work, you cannot leave all your cars where you have been drinking something, and one person drives everybody home. So I agree on the law that there should be more laws for the safety on the road when driving, when on influence of alcohol, but there need to be some alternatives that are cheap enough for people that do drink something, I think.
Yes, I want to comment on that, Margot, because I think if you say you go to drink something after your work, there's also something like the buses, the train. You can also, in the daytime, there are other alternatives than a taxi, I think. So there are other ways to get home.
That is true.
And which ways are that, Florence?
You can take a train, you can take a bus, you can take the subway. There are many ways to get home, I think. And also you can take a bike to go to work. It's very sportive, so I think there are many ways.
Kim, do you have anything to add or a counter argument?
Well, I think it's probably better to do more control when you are driving, if you are drunk or not. I think this may be a better solution than, say, zero tolerance.
That's something I agree with. But let's. I'll just ask a question to you guys. This rule of zero tolerance will probably the Belgian authorities will probably use this rule. But what will be the best way to control this? Because I think it's something hard to control if somebody's driving drunk or not. Do you guys have any suggestions how they can improve the control of this zero tolerance rule? I think we should start with Jean-Michel. How do you think the Belgian government should control this?
Well, a great new way to control drunk driving is with a lock on your wheel that tests. You blow in the wheel, and then it tests if you have amount of alcohol in your blood. So this would be a great way to stop people from driving drunk, because they know they shouldn't go over the limit, because they wouldn't be able to drive home.
I think that's a very good way to do it.
Florence, can you?
I want to comment on that because.
Yes, Margot, you said something.
Yeah, I want to comment on that because a lock on your wheel can be sabotaged by other people that do the test for you, so you can fake actually that you haven't been drinking anything. So I don't think that is the best solution, because it also limits people to do what they want to do, because a lock is already very clear option, I think.
I agree with that, Margot. An alcohol stop or lock on your wheel isn't good because you haven't any privacy yet. I find more control from the police a better solution. You as driver have to decide when you drive your car or when not. It's your responsibility, I think.
Well, it's obviously not the person's responsibility to know if he should drive or not, because we have seen in the past that a lot of people that have had this responsibility took advantage of this. But Margot told us that it would be easy to let other people, for example, blow in the hole that are sober. But that's true, and that can happen, but it would be would make driving drunk a lot harder, and not everybody would have this option. So it would really limit the people of doing this. Not everybody would be able to find somebody else, for example, to blow in the wheel for them. So it would limit a lot of people from driving drunk.
Jean-Michel, to play devil's advocate here,
Yes.
let's say you're married, right? And your wife is going to have your first child, and you just had a pint or two, but you can't start your car because there's a lock, right, on your car, on the wheel of your car, and you can't get out. You can't drive, right? Don't you think it would be better if you could drive in that certain situation?
Well, that's a very good argument of you. I see where you come from, but I agree there should be a mechanism that could be unlocked by for example, car manufacturer or whatever, that when you call, they can unlock the car from a distance.
Yes, it's true what you say, Jean-Michel, but I think in the time that you call someone to unlock your wheel, in that time you can find someone who hasn't drunk and who drives you to the hospital. I think it's not really a problem, and also it would not be responsible, although your wife has a child, it would not be responsible to drive to the hospital because you're so excited and you have drunk something. So I think just in that time it's very good that there's a lock on your wheel.
That's definitely true as well.
Kim, do you have something to add?
Well, the lock on your wheel, I find it a bit too strict. As you said, in some situations, it's very necessary to drive with your car, even if you have drink one drink, for example. So maybe another solution is better for everyone.
Margot,
Yes,
do you have-
I don't really agree with you. I think there's always a solution. Also, when your wife has a child, I don't think you would matter to pay a taxi to the hospital because you just want to be there. I think there's always another solution, and I think if you drink, if you are the Bob, you have to take the responsibility, and you don't. It's not so bad to just say once, "Oh, will not drink today," because I have the responsibility. I think a life of someone is much more important than one drink.
But what if, for example, your house is on fire and someone calls your house is on fire and you have to drink just one thing? You can't drive with your car, so you will too late to save someone in your house. So I find it too strict.
Yes, I know, Kim, but if your house is on fire, I think you will call the fireman because you can't do anything. They will do it for you. So I don't think that's a really good
but
example.
you will first drive to your house, I think, when it is on fire.
Yeah, I don't think so, but yes. So I
Can
think...
we agree here on something that for young drivers it's better to adapt to use the zero tolerance drinking?
Yes, I really agree because in the Netherlands they are already using those alcohol limits, and it's proven that the amount of traffic accidents has really declined. So I think that's a really good example.
Is there somebody else who can add something?
I agree with the fact that it is for 3 years for young drivers, but for the whole life I find it a bit too much. But for 3 years I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree as well. If it's for 3 years, I think that's a good solution.
Yes.
I think we can conclude that the zero tolerance rule is good for young drivers, so that they can learn that it is not impossible to have a good time without drinking. I want to thank our panelists today, Florence, Kim, Margot, and Jean-Michel. Thank you very much for joining me and talking about this case. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye.